Hey everybody, welcome back to the Quantum Show. Thanks for coming by. Got a pretty full room right now. Sapphire, Raven, Samo. Who else we got here? Dorothy. Hey Dorothy. How about now? Sound check. Sound check. Sound check. Wait for a lag. Okay. Wait for I replugged. Keep going, keep going. Wait for sound. Sound check. Good? Good? I got Destic. Good? Destic says 5 by 5. 5 by 5 is good. Okay, Raven says sound is good. Awesome. Got your text. Okay. Anyway, I'm really tired tonight, y'all. So forgive if I stutter or go over stuff over again or whatever. I got a little tiny little script I want to go over. Not a script, but just points of interest, right? Mercury project. I have determined I need more parts. The coils are going to be putting out AC, and I need to make them into DC so it's predictable. So I can use it as one circuit. Instead of having to rebuild the whole thing, I can hook them all together using diodes and be it all DC. So I need to do that. All right. I need to do that. I need a multimeter because the one I ordered got here and it's broken. It's defective. So yeah, I need to. I need. I think I have this thing, AC to DC, like 12 volts from whatever I put into it, 120 to 12. It's not going to put out 120 volts, not as it is, not the desktop thing. And then I need to get a decent multimeter. I got another one on order, and I'm hoping I don't have to go to using the Harbor Freight one because they're not very good. Wow, everybody's coming in. Destic, Zach, welcome back to the Quantum Show, everybody. I'm just going over things that small updates. Did y'all catch my short, the two that I did about when I was woken up at 11 a.m. the other day? That was cool. That was cool. That was really cool. And but yeah, I'm okay. Here's what happened. I was laying on my bed, right? I'll go over it one more time. Because I know a lot of people wouldn't have seen it. I was laying on the bed and I hear 4 taps, and I didn't, and it sounded like a handle on a drawer. You know, the floppy handles that are on a little hinge. And I thought, well, I don't know what that is. Well, I heard 4 taps. I was asleep, literally. And then it stopped and 4 more taps. Hey, Lynn. Okay. I'm going over it again because a lot of people probably wouldn't have seen it. And I heard those other 4 taps. And then I feel a very gentle on my shoulders. Very gentle, right? Just enough to not, just very gentle. Hey, hey, hey. And I didn't think I had, that woke me up, right? And then I got a message. Joe says, I had a waking dream type thing where I was trying to get into a junk drawer and I couldn't get it open. And there was someone sleeping there. I tried to wake him up to help me. He said, that's as far as the likeness went. But in that frame of reality, it doesn't have to be perfect. And you know what it was? Okay, I didn't think I had a handle like that in my room. I do. It's over here on a junk drawer. And it sounds just like it. I did a follow up video. Hey, Samantha. And it was cool. That kind of thing is cool. And I didn't know what had happened. Honestly, I thought I was having a really vivid dream, but I was half asleep. I was asleep when the tapping started, half asleep when it continued, and then the shaking my shoulders woke me up. But the craziest part was something started pulling my pillow. And you know how that sound is where you can hear against your ear something moving? That's what it sounded like. It was, I was like, oh, what's going on? Okay, shields up. real fast, shields up. And that was the most eventful part of the week, right? Constant contact with spirit guides. Though my ego has been kind of getting in the way of that, I've been chilling myself back out and uh, keeping in contact again. Funny thing, Sabrina has gone to be a faceless entity. She still speaks, but when I perceive her, I don't really see them, but I get the impression of a faceless entity. Is still a woman, but faceless and kind of in shadow now. And that's very strange. And I keep asking her, why are you doing this? And she goes, I'm just doing it. I'm like, okay. And it's just, she's been like, I haven't mentioned it, but she's been like that for a little while now. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I have no idea, right? It's higher being stuff, and I'm not up there with them. So that's what's going on with her. And yeah, I was just, that's about it. You know, of course, noises all the time, and no visitors. I don't think visitors come around here too often. I got two residents that come around fairly often. The little boy comes in every night. He's the one making a lot of noise. He plays with the toys. And the one guy that passed away here, he's up at the front. Matron hasn't showed up in a while, right? Matron hasn't showed up in a while. Dorothy is asking, let me get the stream yard. Dorothy is asking, it's coming up. Is that a development of your own inner vision, Nathan? Like she can be more herself with you now? Do you mean spirit guide? I'm not sure. It's hard to say. Oh, yeah, Sapphire. I do have. Okay, I have two spirit guides that communicate with me. And they communicate directly, not like I see a blue balloon, which is a good one. But no, I have two spirit guides that talk directly to me with words in my head. It's awesome, right? And I don't know. I call them Xena and Sabrina, right? Xena is the tough lady, right? And I'm not reading the chat too much. Xena, but I'll go because I saw. Oh, I haven't heard this part. And Xena's a tough lady. Okay, I interpret her as a 6 foot or more Mongolian warrior woman with armor. And when I see any kind of weapon, it's a hammer or an axe. And that's Xena. She is very strong, she can be scary, okay? She can be scary. And she's the one when she's got to get done, Xena comes in and talks to me about stuff. Then I get other messages like, be careful with your X-Acto knife and don't cut yourself. Yeah, just anything works, right? Okay. And I'm appreciative. But that's Xena. Sabrina is more for like emotional me, right? The emotional. When I get emotional like that, when I need help on an emotional level, not motivational, but emotional. And she helps me a lot. They both do. They both help me immensely. They approve of this message. I imagine them right here. Right now, it's Xena. Sabrina's been hanging back a lot. Don't understand why. I don't know what the change is. And Stonehammer culture, that's real, says Sapphire. Not stone. She doesn't use a stone hammer. I don't know. I'm not keeping up with the chat. Just updating, right? Updating little things. Work is fine. Man, when I manifest something, it comes out all over the place. I started thinking about this Mercury project. Before I even started with the metal, I got a Mercury car that needs work. And I don't get no breaks. I get fighting chances. This car has got a fighting chance at being productive again. And it's one thing after another's been breaking on it, but I've been doing it up until right now. Wow, 13 in the chat. Welcome back to the Quantum Show, everybody. If you're here, you're quantum. And I got to say it, hit like and subscribe. If you're here, you're quantum. Even proxy quantum is still quantum. And, okay. Dorothy is saying, hey, Cindy. Dorothy's saying, I always seem to give a cover to the guidance I get from dead relatives, ascended masters, angels. The words get in the way of the experiences. Too shocking to come in full force. Yeah, they can be. And that's an update. So the thing with waking me up, I still need to talk to Joe about that. I haven't talked to him. I need to talk to Joe. I need to email him. I should have emailed him. I need to say, tell me more, because I can't match up a story when I was asleep. Nothing else was going on with the shaking and the tapping. And, well, I would like to know more information. So I need to send him an email and ask him. And I've got some technical questions too, because I'm no stranger to wiring things up, but when AC is involved, I'm not so sure about what I'm doing. And the AC to DC transformer, I need some guidance on that. Right. I don't really know how to read the diagrams that I'm finding, so I need to figure that out. And let's see. I'm tired, right? Earlier today, I tried to work on this thing. It did not go well. I did a fix that didn't need to be fixed yet. Now I have to undo it and make sure this thing, because see, here's what the deal is, right? I tried to work on this. Now, you've seen this before. Well, now it's glued down. But look at this. This is not straight, right? This is not straight. This needs to be straight up and down braced. I was thinking, oh man, do I have to undo it? Yeah, because if I go with like this, I'll have to hold it. And I don't want to be holding it, or put some kind of brace around the edge, because the cool thing about this, I can slide this up and down, see that something is going to be happening, and screw it together, right? So I need I need to unglue this, or just take this part off and put a center mount so it won't jiggle around like that. And I did get the coils soldered together. These are my leads that's going to go to the battery. The battery, I finally got it out because I had every intention of starting the thing up. Not ready. The battery is fine. This is, what is this? It is 12 volt. I'm going to have a regulator, right? And it's not simple. It's complicated. We got 12 volt, 12 amp hour, right? And yeah, that's a good battery. That's a decent battery. This is mostly packed away. I did uncover these so I can get to the terminals on them, but yeah, this stuff gets complicated quick. So I've got a list of things that I need to figure out. I probably have all the stuff, but I'm so tired. I realized when I was looking at just the basic setup, I'm going to need this, I'm going to need that, I'm going to have to try to do this. I'm going to multimeter, need that multimeter. And I'm going to be filming everything. I was going to start up filming tonight, but I'm so tired. Couldn't sleep. And I already kind of halfway screwed it up. Luckily, it's E6000 on plastic and plastic, so I could just take it apart. I should have gone with hot glue, but got lazy. Have the E6000 right here, and hot glue would have come off really easy. So that's where I'm at with that Mercury project. And the Mercury still sits up here. Still got it. And I'm going to be getting more. Sapphire, yeah, I need to I'm going to have the discharge rate, right? Yeah, I'm going to need a regulator. And I'm thinking about getting one off of like a lawnmower just to make sure everything's good. But I need AC to DC, and I've got lots of plug adapters they call them wall warts. I got lots of those 12 volts. I might use one of those, but I want to go above 1 amp, and the one I have, I think, is 1 amp. If I can dig one up here that's like 12 volts or even 18 volts, I mean, just as long as it's DC. I'm going to put a rectifier in it too. I'm going to have that's some rectifier, and it's complicated, right? It's pretty complicated stuff, but that's where I'm at on it. And let me see, what did I say here? Okay, went over the ghost stuff, went over the parts stuff, and I wanted to go over. A lot of people haven't heard the story about the cemetery when I went back there with Adana, right? And I got to talk about it. I'm trying to talk to a lady and a woman, like romantically, and she's into the paranormal. She actually walked up to me and says, "Hey, I love your Bigfoot shirt." And I'm like, "Oh, really? That's awesome." So, okay, sorry. I see now. Dorothy, a rectifier takes things that are not so regulated and puts it regulation, right? Makes it, I'm going for 12 volts. Whatever in 120 volts of any current in, and rectifies it to 12 volts. It has a regulator in there too, but I might use a separate regulator. Dorothy, it's really complicated, right? It's hard to explain, and I'm probably using the wrong words. Yes, Ammo. She said she liked my Bigfoot shirt, and I was like, all right, that's cool. Let's talk. So I started to tell her about this stuff, and she is one of those people. She tripped my empathic stuff, right? I was like, she gravitated to me, I gravitated to her. And it was one of those things, right? She is a musician on her own, amateur. She plays guitar and violin, Southern style. And it's awesome. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. But that's what she does. And she works at the zoo. She has that compassion. She doesn't work with the animals, she works in the gift shop, but she has the compassion. And I think that's something else that pinged me, for lack of a better word, right? And the banjo? Oh, I missed that part. I thought it was, I didn't know. Yeah, y'all been scoping her out. Thank you. She's cute, right? And she's nice. And I told her flat out, hey, full disclosure, so there's no question, I'm into you. And I'm beyond like playing cat and mouse and trying to play on the hard to get. No, I'm done with all that stuff. I want to be straight out, honest, not playing no game. Hey, girl, I'm into you. It's cool. And well, we're maintaining a dialogue on Instagram. We're talking to each other on Instagram. Yeah, I don't want to be friend zoned again. And I'm actually looking for something like that, right? Looking for a little bit of romantic woman. So that's that. I wasn't expecting that to happen. Hardly the only other time anybody has remarked on the Bigfoot stuff was on my car. I was pulling into the parking lot. And he saw the sticker, Bigfoot department. He goes, "You found Bigfoot yet?" I'm like, "We're still looking." So she remarked on it, and we got to talking. And she's into it as an interested person, but I don't know if she knows how to do any of this stuff yet. I will show her. I will show her. And I will show her how to do some really cool things. Chakras can be a serious turn on, okay? And I know what buttons to press. I like pressing buttons. So working on it. I'm maintaining a dialogue, like I said, and that was really cool. And we've got stuff in common. Like we both love animals. We both like listening to music, and there's more. I'm so tired. I can't think about too much. But that's the update there. And yeah, oh, how I got to this was I wanted to tell her about the cemetery, but that's kind of a heavy story to lay on somebody, right? And she was not really into the heavy stories yet. That's going to be in a different environment, maybe coffee at IHOP or something, right? That would be for that environment. And I'm still picky, okay? And she actually broke through all the defenses, and no one does that, right? No one's able to do that. Not just because, uh, not just because um, my head gets turned by a pretty face. No, no, I've got +1 versus charm going on here. And okay, so right, I'm not looking at the chat. See, looking at the phone up here is harder to do than looking over here, and I keep looking over, and I'm like, whatever. So, and I wanted to, since so many people have not heard, I wanted to go over the cemetery. Oh, Sapphire, by the way, Spirit Guide introduced herself with words by telling me a Star Wars joke. It was awesome. I was driving and it was cool. So yeah, that. And okay. oh, I just totally derailed my line of thinking. And thank you, Samo. Yeah, it was cool. And it was totally unexpected. I was listening to Rich, and I was listening to the Rich on the way to work, on the phone, driving to work, and somebody brought something up. And I'm like, man, that's going to make them mad. And I hear in my head, yes, they can use the anger. She was impersonating the emperor. I didn't say it. She said it. Like, oh my God. Sapphire, you got to look within. You meditate, look within, and just start asking them, hey, let me know you're there. You have a guide. They're just not communicative, or you're not receptive. That's my problem. I'm not receptive most of the time. And okay, the cemetery. Real quick go over. We're almost at half an hour. My friend Adana came to me. I went to see her at work, and she closed. Right, I was there when she closed. She goes, "Hey Nathan, I want to go visit the cemetery." I'm like, "What? It's midnight." She was getting up at midnight. She had to go change and take care of stuff. So it was 2 o'clock by the time we got to the cemetery behind my house. And it's a bright night. I went over the initial video that I made of this, and I had remembered some stuff, right, after the video. And it was a bright night, clear skies, nearly full moon, and I didn't even need to use my flashlight. Okay. Now, got to tell you, cemetery is rectangular. You have the nice, pretty, maintained stuff in the front where the gate is, and then you got the not pretty stuff in the back where it's just not maintained, broken headstones, and a weird monument, something in the middle that was never completed. It's Revolutionary War era. Okay. So we get here and we go in, and I know there's residents out there. So I go, hey, we're just visiting. Please, I hope it's okay. And she didn't introduce herself. I did. I said, me and my friend, she wants to look around, and we're friends. And we do the front. The front, everything's fine. Everything's fine, right? No lights. Didn't have no lights. Didn't need it. It was a bright night. Stars, a moon, very bright. I could see. I turned my light out, let my eye adjust, see fine. No fear. Okay, not scared of anything. The biggest fear is you're in the woods. Don't trip and fall because you'll be in a bad way. So that's the biggest fear I had up to this point. All right. We look at the front. Everything's fine. I feel a little bit on edge, but not fearful, right? And then she starts to go to the back, and it gets darker. And I get this. I'm on the left side, so close to the house, and it gets darker. The sky is still clear, but in my immediate area, this was the trippiest thing. It got darker right where we were. I could see through the trees where the moonlight was hitting the ground and the fences and stuff. It was still bright over there. It wasn't bright where we were. It got darker, and I didn't realize it, but it got fuzzy, right? It got blurry right where I was. It got blurry. And I get this fight or flight fear come over me. There's nothing to be scared of, right? But I'm used to the dark. Having darkness happen, used to it. Blurriness, it's already nighttime. So I'm used to that stuff. But I have that feeling come over me. So I go, Adana, do you feel that? The response was garbled, like it was going through a scrambler. And holy crap, here's what happened. Okay. This gets all kinds of weird. She is walking towards the back. She vanishes. It's now very almost pitch black, can't see nothing on the left side where she had just walked, right? Can't see nothing. I'm like, and when her voice came back scrambled, I mean, it was like, it was like that. It was totally a scrambled voice, like Death Troopers. You couldn't understand. I couldn't, and I was trying to make out what she was saying when she just gone. She just gone, okay? And I'm like, what? And I'm looking around, and I see movement off the right side, right? This is where it gets really freaky, y'all. It's still fuzzy, and it's dark over there. Pitch black, can't see nothing over there. Darker over here, but pitch black where she went. And she's gone, okay? Just gone. I can't see nothing. I see movement. And logical brain says it's the wind blowing a tree branch or something. I look over across the cemetery. I see a figure. It's see-through with a fuzzy outline. And it's a figure of a person walking. I'm like, what the? And then I see two more. So there's three of them making their way to where Adana went. And I take a step back because I'm like, fight or flight, flight's kicking in, right? I take a step back and I see another one running up to me, right? I take a step back and I'm like, and it comes straight right here. It comes right up to my face and says, you stay right here. You stay right here. And I was just like, this freaked me. I've seen a lot of shit, y'all. Okay? Seen a lot of shit. This freaked me out. And I heard it put in my head, you stay right here. And I was like, and I was nailed to the spot. Okay? I could not move. And it stayed dark. Can't hear nothing either, right? It stayed dark. It stayed blurry on where I was. And then I'm looking around. I'm trying to find Adana. And I'm looking around. And I realize I'm in the woods alone with someone. If she doesn't come back, I'm going to be accused of murder. So the fight or flight, it goes away. Now I'm in rescue mode. And I start to reach into my pocket, look for my flashlight, because I'm about to go into rescue mode. And then, okay, got a text message. I'll get to it in a second. Can't do it on the show. And then I hear crunch of leaves under a footstep. And Adana emerges from the blackness, okay? Just emerges. Like she was walking through a door where it's black on one side and not anymore. It was, she just emerged. I heard her. And I'm like, where were you? She didn't answer. She's confused. I found out she's very confused because she didn't know what the fuck happened either. And it took 3 weeks for her to tell me what went on. And all this time, bells are ringing in my head like something's familiar. Something's real familiar. And the blackness and the fuzziness has only happened one time. That was in a circle that we cast, right? And inside the circle where we were, everything was fine. Outside, black, fuzzy. So I'm used to that, right? And I was like, Adana, where were you? And she didn't answer because she was confused. So I was like, it's time to go. It's time to go. We need to, oh, by the way, this was on Halloween 2 years ago. Halloween night 2 years ago. And I was like, Adana, we got to go. It's time to go. She's holding a charm bracelet that she put together. Like witchy charm. We're both pagans, right? And it gets broken in her hand. No reason for it. There's nothing to get hung on. There's nothing to get caught on and break. She didn't step on it. It's not that long. It didn't get caught on something. And yeah, yeah, Dorothy, for real. Yeah, you have no idea. Okay. It was the craziest thing. I've seen a bunch of crazy stuff. That is the craziest stuff I have ever seen in my life. Okay. Was four of these guys, and one of them gave me an order, and that's what rung a bell. The way they were walking rung a bell. I take a when I remember it, I get chills. All right, and well, this being a Revolutionary War cemetery, found out historically there were slaves buried over there. Okay, along with owners. That back in the day, that was illegal, and nobody wants to talk about it. It's history, right? It's history now. Literally almost ancient history. 200-year-old cemetery. So who was back there were angry slaves. And who went over that way were Minutemen. Revolutionary War. I think they had the bell that was ringing was they had a military bearing. So did the one, and he went, you stay right here. And it was like, you stay right here. That's military orders. I know them when I hear them. And that's what it was. So I obeyed and stayed right there. Come to find out, the fear that I was feeling was it was Xena. It was a spirit guide making me do the stay there fear, the frozen in fear, because there was nothing to be scared of. But I felt it. It was Xena. Xena had my back. Xena has pulled some cool shit. Okay. She has really pulled some cool effects. And I didn't realize it until afterwards. Voices, car doors, multiple voices. And I'm pretty sure I've looked back. I've heard that a lot. I've heard my name called several times when I was about to do something that would break something or get me in trouble. And well, that's what happened at the cemetery, right? We picked up the broken necklace parts and we left. And I said I was sorry and thank you. But they were still upset with me. So, like I said, she didn't tell me for 3 weeks because she didn't have it straight in her head. She said she went into the cemetery. She lost track of me. Go figure. She lost track of me, and she said that the ground was starting to grab her feet, like they were trying to grab her feet. Like she kept having to pull her feet up, and she saw a hat on the ground. Nothing modern. It was old. She still never has described it to me. And those four guys went back and they were rescuing her. So they got the Minutemen, rescued her. What I had to do for this to be okay later, right? I got to live here. I've shown pictures. It's right out the window. You can see the whole cemetery is right there, right? Literally, it's like 50 feet away from the back door. And so what I did was I thought about it. I was like, what do we do to satiate angry spirits? I was like, well, gold, I don't have anything. Wait a minute. Food's a good offering. And who are these people? Like, what kind of food am I going to bring? Well, they're country people. I'm country people. What would I like for somebody to bring over to my house? Biscuits and gravy. So that's what I did. The next week, I went to Waffle House and I ordered two big platters of biscuits and gravy. And I did a food offering, right? It was morning time. So I went out there and, oh gosh, the feeling I got when I walked out there was, oh, it's this guy, right? He's come to cause more trouble. And I did a saying. It was very, I don't know, talking over the picnic. And I said, here, this is for you. I did it twice, the front and for the back, because it was two different groups of people. And I got a very impatient feeling when I walked in with it. And I told them I'd come get the leftovers later because, well, it's a spirit offering, so they're not going to actually grab the food. So I did that. And when I walked out, I felt gratitude, tolerance, and just good feels, good vibes. And well, that's what I had. I should have thought I should have done tobacco and coffee and whiskey, but didn't have that stuff. And well, I got coffee, but I don't have a lot. Not for like 300 people that are back there. And yeah, they're not all marked. A couple few years ago, they discovered that cemetery had many more graves. They thought it was family only. It's not. It's family plus slaves. And well, that's what I did, and it was a good feeling. And I kept my word, and I went back there and got the leftovers and fed the animals, so they were happy with it. And it was such a trip. I did two presentations, one in the front, one in the back, because I told them things like, I said, I'm sorry about the other day. My friend didn't know what she was doing, and I hope this makes it up. I want to be a good neighbor. Here you go. This is for you. Thank you for letting me come by again today. And because and then after that, after we got kicked out, right? Is okay. Flowers are always a good idea. I think I did right too, Samo. And right after we got kicked out, we went, and my driveway is behind the church, right? So we went up to the driveway. We sat for a little while talking about stuff. And y'all, she's like a niece to me. Okay, she's 25, 26 now, I believe. And like a niece. Okay. Um, and we walked around the church. I was tolerated. She was not. She got all kinds of bad vibes. They did not want her there. And she's country people too. She comes from an equestrian family, right? She's not a horse. They deal with horses. Sorry. But she comes from a family that deals a lot with horses, high end stuff like $1 million horses, millions of dollars worth of horse stuff. She did not feel right. And I was okay. She did not feel right. And there was empathy kicked in, right? I wasn't shielding very well back then, 2 years ago. We were in the parking lot again, and she goes, "Hey, Nate, look at the window over there on the church. What do you see?" I didn't try to prepare myself or anything. I just looked. And Cindy is the the area is old, 200 plus years of settlement, right? A Revolutionary War area. Yeah, old. The area is called Gower area, and that's the family that settled this. And the church it's a historic church. It's been rebuilt. It does get used sometimes, special occasions, not Sunday services. Yeah, this place is uber haunted. And yeah, this house is the former pastor's house. Now the church rents it to us. And yeah, all of Tennessee is haunted. Okay, this place specifically so. We got river, got bigger river, got creek over here, got river over here. all the running water you want. Revolutionary War area. And okay, Cindy, how do you get? What is that? How do you spell that? GOWER. I'll put it in the chat. There we go. Yeah, water makes everything much more amped up. And yeah, that's the story of that. So we took off. She left and she wanted to come back next year. And I was like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. She wanted to bring her friend. I'm like, this is not no joyride. This is not the carnival ride. I was thinking that, right? This is not a carnival ride. You bring your friends. This is not a public haunted house. You pay by $10 and go in. You don't do that. This is some quantum shit going on over here. That's what happened at the cemetery. It is the craziest stuff I've ever been involved in. And like I said, all kinds of stuff has happened. That takes all the cakes, right? Nothing has been weirder than that. I think I've seen stuff in the woods. I mean, just over time, not here. Stuff in the woods, seeing shadow apparitions, weird animals, weird people, been in some weird places. A lot of stuff has happened, but nothing like that has ever happened. 4 invisible guys, Minutemen, at best guess, show up. A girl disappears in blackness, and she just pops back in, right? Like she just emerged from the darkness. And oh, after that, it got lighter, it got sharper, the light was all back. It was the craziest I have ever been involved with. The only thing crazier is that guy who goes to the Middle East, or he lives in the Middle East, and he goes and hunts down jinn or whatever they are in these abandoned buildings. That's some crazy stuff. That's crazier. Okay, I've been to haunted houses, haunted places. Nothing has been crazier than this. Reading the chat. Okay. I'm going back a little while. And all right. Okay. Name was O'Neill. Okay. Make sure it's not a ley line sapphire. No, I should have known better. The veil is thinnest between there and here. I should have known better. That's exactly why she wanted to go then. And I'm reading right. And okay. Yeah, the place has an awesome history. Right. So that is the story of the cemetery and the general story about where I live. There's a dock down the road that has been there since settlements, since this area was settled, and all of this is old Indian territory. All of Tennessee is all the United States is former Native American territory. And there's a bunch of reasons why so much is haunted. Savannah. Oh, we've got one place right here that people won't even go. They hate even driving through it. It's an old fort from Revolutionary War, Fort Blunt. And there's nothing there now. There's power lines. But people go there and they feel like they're being watched. There was a massacre there, a Native American Indian massacre. And the fort is gone. It's been gone for 150 years. But that's what happened. And apparently the tribe cursed it. That's what the local legend is. I haven't looked it up to see what tribe, who did it. But nobody will go through there. Nobody even wants to drive through there. And it's not far. It's about an hour away from here. So that's where I got a buddy with a Tesla, and he has that dashboard. On Tesla, you get a dashboard thing, and it has a people detector and shows you who's there. I'm like, dude, we got to go to Fort Blount. They call it Fort Blount, but it's Blount. Dude, we got to go there. And Cindy, no, I cannot move right now. It's okay. We get along, right? The kid comes in and plays with my toys. I hear noises. I say, hey, if you're going to play with anything you want, just be quiet. I got to sleep, please. And he's the only one that does anything back here. Oh, I did say I was super tired tonight. Had trouble sleeping. But that is the story here. All right. I have gone over the Mercury project, the Mercury car project a little bit. What parts do I need? The stuff where I woke up like, hey, wake up. Very gentle. Very gentle. Oh, and last thing. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 today. It was okay. It wasn't the most awesome one I've ever seen. You know what? It was the origin story of Rocket, the raccoon character. The most touching part was where he died and they sent him back to Earth. Spoiler. But it's nothing how you think it was. It's nothing how you thought it was going to be, right? No more spoilers. But that was the most touching part, and I just related to it. And all of the stuff, the animal, there's a bunch of crazy, mean stuff in it, right? Mean, angry stuff. But that's the part that touched me the hardest. And I was like, oh my God, he's got back. And yeah, if you can see it, see it. If you got Disney or Amazon, pay the $20. It's worth it. And plus, you get to watch it more times. And yeah, Guardians Volume 3. It was good. That was the most touching part for me. And it was about animals. Loved it. So the next movie I want to watch is Transformers: Rise of the Beast, but I'm in no hurry. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was in no real hurry to see even Guardians 3 because it came out a while ago. But it was still on, so prime time, I guess. And I don't really have too much to talk about over the panel tonight. We'll see what happens. I am not going to be doing a long one. I'm so tired. I'm tired to the point where I'm breaking things when I touch them, and I don't need to be doing that. I'm going to get some coffee, set up the panel, send out links, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Small updates, works okay. Talking to a lady, she's cool. She's very young compared to me. I'm like, oh my God. But that's what I'm doing. And I don't want to be friend zoned. And she's young enough to be insecure. She's cool. I like her. She's into a bunch of stuff that I'm into. And that's, yeah, definitely time for coffee. I've been using the Mexican instant stuff, which is really good. It's not a pot of coffee, but it's the Mexican instant stuff. It's really good stuff. And so, y'all, thanks for everybody hanging out. Had a big crowd, 14 people the whole time, or at least 14 now. I think we started with 7, and it stayed high. It's awesome. Okay. That's the first hour. I'm going to call it. That's the first hour quantum show. If you hear your quantum, like and subscribe. Awesome. Thanks for coming by. I'm going to take a break, set the other show up, get some coffee, and I'll be back in just a bit. Keeping it quantum and pushing buttons. Pushing buttons.